Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back? Not because your face has changed, but because your life has. Somewhere along the way, the spark dimmed, the plans unraveled, the noise got louder than your prayers. And now you're here, exhausted, stretched thin, scrolling through life like a stranger in your own story. But what if I told you, you're not alone? What if the loss of control you feel is not a failure, but a signal? A whisper from heaven, it's time to come home. The Bible isn't just a book of ancient stories, it's a survival guide for the soul. And within its pages, God reveals how to take back what the enemy tried to steal. Your focus, your strength, your life. So don't look away, because what you're about to discover is not just biblical, it's personal. And it starts with unlearning the biggest lie we've been told. We were raised on this. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Sounds empowering, right? But how's that working out? The harder we grip the wheel, the more the road slips beneath us. Anxiety rises, peace disappears. And deep down, we know, control is an illusion we've been sold. Proverbs 14 verse 12 says, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death." It seems right to hustle harder, it seems wise to trust only yourself. But it leads to burnout, emptiness, and the quiet ache of living without direction. Control, as the world defines it, is a counterfeit, it's a clenched fist pretending to be strength. But the Bible offers another way, one that begins not with self-reliance, but surrender. Still, surrender doesn't mean giving up, it means giving God the space to lead. So the question isn't, how can I take control of my life? The real question is, who's been in control all along, and have I been listening? Let's go deeper, because someone in Scripture found herself in a moment just like this. Alone, abandoned, invisible, until God called her by name. She had no voice, no choice, just a burden she never asked for and a path that led straight into the wilderness. Her name? Hagar. A servant, a foreigner. A woman used, then discarded. When Sarai grew tired of waiting on God's promise, she handed Hagar to Abram, hoping to build a family through her. And when the plan backfired, Hagar became the target of cruelty, jealousy, and scorn. So she ran. Pregnant, alone, collapsing in the desert, but that's when everything changed. A voice called out, not from judgment, but from love. Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going? Genesis 16 verse 8. It was the angel of the Lord, and for the first time, someone saw her, knew her name, spoke to her destiny. You shall name him Ishmael, the angel said, for the Lord has heard your affliction. And there, by a spring in the wilderness, she whispered a name we still speak today, El Roi, the God who sees me. Before you take back control of your life, you need to know this. You are not invisible, you are not forgotten, you are seen. Hagar returned to her pain, but she did not return the same. Because when you know that God sees you, you walk differently, even through the fire. But what happens when the next battle comes, when death knocks, when fear rises, when the odds are stacked? One king knew exactly what to do, let's follow him. He was out of options, the enemy was at the gates, and worse, his days were numbered. Hezekiah, king of Judah, had tried everything. He fortified his cities, he paid tribute, he negotiated, but none of it worked. Assyria was coming, and death was already knocking on his own door. A prophet walked in with words that hit like a final blow, "Set your house in order, for you shall die and not live." Isaiah 38 verse 1. What do you do when even the prophet has given up? Hezekiah turned his face to the wall, away from the voices, away from the world, and cried out to God. Not with strategy, not with strength, but with tears. And heaven responded. Before Isaiah even left the palace, God sent him back with a new message. I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Surely I will add 15 years to your life. Isaiah 38 verse 5. 15 more years, a second chance. Not because Hezekiah took control, but because he let go. There is power in surrender, not passive resignation, intentional trust. When you reach the end of yourself, you reach the beginning of what God can do. But surrender isn't where the story ends, it's where clarity begins. Because once you're on your knees, you're finally in position to see the signs. Jesus never called his followers to panic, he called them to prepare. In Matthew 24, the disciples asked him, "What will be the sign of your coming, and of the end of the age?" They weren't just curious, they were desperate to understand the chaos around them. And Jesus answered, not with riddles, but with clarity. There will be wars and rumors of wars, nation will rise against nation. Famines, earthquakes, betrayal, false prophets, lawlessness. Matthew 24 verses 6 to 12. But then he said something strange, see that you are not alarmed. Not alarmed? How can we not be shaken when everything is falling apart? Because he told us what to watch for, and how to watch. Watch and pray, he said. Not watch and worry, not watch and retreat, watch and pray. Because spiritual alertness is the first step to spiritual authority. And it's not enough to just see the signs, you have to interpret them through the lens of faith, not fear. Jesus was not giving a weather report, he was handing out marching orders. And while others freeze in fear, you move in step with the Spirit. Because taking back control of your life doesn't mean avoiding trouble. It means walking through it, eyes open, heart anchored, soul ready. But there's a warning, because in times of pressure, something dangerous creeps in. Not just from outside the church, but from within, and if we're not careful, it can sabotage everything. Pressure doesn't just reveal character, it attracts counterfeit. When the world shakes, people start looking for saviors, quick fixes, loud promises, easy answers. But not all that glitters is divine. In 1 Samuel 25, we meet a man named Nabal. His name literally means, fool. And true to form, he was arrogant, wealthy, and blind to the danger around him. David had protected Nabal's shepherds in the wilderness, shielded them from harm. And in return, David humbly asked for provisions. Nabal laughed, mocked, dismissed him. Who is this David? Why should I give him anything? He thought his power insulated him, he thought his wealth gave him control, but his pride invited destruction. David rose in fury, swords drawn, vengeance burning. And in that moment, only one person stood between bloodshed and mercy, a woman named Abigail. Wise, discerning, courageous. She rushed to intercept David with gifts in hand and humility in her voice. She bowed low and pleaded for peace, not just to save her household, but to save David from making a mistake that would haunt him. Abigail had no title, no army, no crown. But she had what Nabal lacked, wisdom, and her wisdom saved lives. Here's the truth, pride can't protect you, arrogance won't lead you, foolishness dressed as confidence is still a trap. But godly wisdom? It restores peace, it disarms wrath, it invites heaven into chaos. So if you're trying to take back control of your life, don't chase loud voices, listen for the still, wise ones. Because sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when to bow. But now comes the moment of decision. You've heard the stories, you've seen the pattern, the only question left is this: are you ready to reclaim what's been stolen? It always starts the same. A small compromise, a lost prayer, a week without opening the Word, then 2. And slowly, silently, we drift. Not into disaster, but into distance. Like the prodigal son, we don't wake up in a pigsty overnight. We walk there, step by step, thought by thought. Until one day, we realize, we're far from where we began. But here's the beauty of grace, you can turn around. Right now, right here. Not by earning your way back, not by fixing every mistake, but by remembering this one truth. God never moved, He's still watching the road, still calling your name, still ready to clothe you in righteousness and place a ring on your finger. The Bible isn't a record of perfect people, it's the story of broken lives restored by relentless mercy. David, the man after God's own heart, once said, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation." Psalm 51 verse 12. He didn't ask for more power, he asked for joy, because joy is the fruit of a soul back in alignment. Joy is the evidence of a heart under God's rule, so here's your invitation: reclaim your mind, reclaim your peace, reclaim your life. Not through force, but through faith. Not through pride, but through posture. Face turned toward the Father, because the moment you turn back, He runs. And He doesn't meet you with judgment, He meets you with celebration. But there's one final thing you need to hear. This is not the end, this is the turning of a page, the kind you fold in the corner, so you never forget where everything changed. Because when you finally give God the pen, He writes stories no enemy can erase. Isaiah 43 verse 19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" God isn't just repairing the old, He's birthing the new. New direction, new identity, new authority, rooted not in self, but in surrendered strength. You're not who you were before you watched this, not anymore. Because now you know, you are seen, you are heard, you are loved. And the same God who met Hagar in the wilderness, who added years to Hezekiah's life, who stopped David's sword through Abigail's wisdom, that same God is calling you now. You're not too far gone, you haven't missed your moment. The author of life is still writing, so let Him. Today isn't just a comeback, it's a beginning, and your new chapter starts now.